Now, with all of that gone, I would like to say a few things about that. Um, the very first thing I would say, he was a very unusual man. And the reason I say it is that he is a person who, everywhere you went in the world, they would say, "Oh, you're the son of Joe. Ah, Joe is my brother from another mother." And I used to wonder, but how many mothers are there? Because there's just too many. But everyone, everywhere you went, everyone felt like dad was their brother, or their, or that it was he was their brother. And that is something that he had very special. He loved everyone. He loved everyone, all sorts of people. It was so weird. We are sitting and then you receive messages and you're like, but how do you know this person? And then he would tell you, and every time you're like, Dad, do you know anyone in this place? He's like, in the most randomest, yeah, in Togo, I know that this person who's connected to this person who's connected to this person. But he used to always say your relationship is your biggest treasure. And he meant that he had friends all over. The other thing that was very interesting about that is his humility. A lot of you know him outside, but the man himself was very, very humble. Humble in the sense that he treated everyone equally. I remember one advice he gave me once. He said it in French. He said, "Respecte tout le monde, n'idolise personne." So respect everyone, don't idolize anyone. And he meant that even a simple thing, he picked every call, whether it's 0830 or even a Tuvugane, he would pick up and talk to everyone. And then he always made everyone feel like they're best friends. And that is a talent that I have not seen in anyone else. He had an ability to be humble. Now, here's the thing. There's someone who said, I don't know where I heard it, people can be humble when you have nothing to brag about. And for many people, they're humble because they have no achievements to their titles or anything. But Dad, even to a point where he was the most famous person, where he would get in places people scream, he would always he'd say hi to the cleaner, and he would treat everyone equally. And that, I would say, is a trait of character that I think is very, very hard to replicate. He was a man who loved everyone, who treated everyone with respect, and who was humble. And he was humble in so many ways. And I would say two other things about that, and then I'll let Eric, the financial manager, talk. But the other thing that I loved about that is his joie de vivre. He loved life. I'll tell you a story. When Dad was made minister, we were at my mom's birthday in 2004. We were celebrating Mom, and then they say on TV, Minister of Sports, Mr. Joseph HABINEZA. So everyone is congratulating him. We're looking, it's like, what? And we're all worried about one thing. And this is maybe something that people who know him understand. In Dad's family, Jonas and Tantine Irene and Dad, they have one problem. They laugh really loud. And even when they laugh, sometimes they laugh and then they put their legs up. And then after that, they are going to start pinching you. So if you're friends with Jonas, you know that he would laugh and then he'll pinch you. So as we're worried, if Dad is sitting with the president, what is going to happen? So, literally, the only worry we had was, Dad, please learn how to laugh diplomatically. So, no, I can do it. And then sometimes you find him, he's laughing, and you're praying, please don't put up your legs. No, don't do that. But he had a joy of life. And that is something that it was hard, it was very infectious. You would find that the only issue was always like, you get somewhere, you know he's there. Why? You hear him laugh. He's laughing very, very loud. And there are people who laugh and you know it's coming from the heart. And in everything, he was always like, don't worry. That's, the best is yet to come. The best is yet to come. So he had not only a joy of life, but he always had a hope for things to always get better. And, one thing I wrote to Dad in February, I told him, it was written in French. I said, Papa, tu as un cœur d'or. Et c'est ça, this is your best quality. And I said, let me just translate it. I said, Dad, you have a heart of gold. And that is the best quality about you. And even in the way that you treat people, that's the best thing about you. And I said, please never lose that. And I look at that and I say, he never lost it. I always say, imagine I had gone to my grandma's 2 weeks ago, and she was complaining that my father, the problem with him is too naive, and he lives in the air and he believes everyone is good and he's just jolly. And I say, I hope people say that about me when I'm in my 50s. That people, the only issue they have with me is I'm too joyful and I love life. And that is definitely what I would say about him. But we're going to greatly miss him. We're going to miss him at home. He woke up to a lot of music. So if you like sleeping in, he was just not the best person to have around. And he would always, I don't know if Eric remembers, Dad also loved looking good. So one thing that he did is every time he bought a new suit, he would just come and parade in front of us. And he's parading as if we act as if we are not seeing it. Quand même, hein? Joli garçon, voilà. And then after that, you start putting on his glasses. Ah, ben oui, hein? Comment tu me vois? Comment je vais? And then so if you don't respond, you oh, la jeunesse d'aujourd'hui, c'est vraiment, vous connaissez rien. And but he had energy. I'm like this, like we went out. We'll go out, and we'll go out, come back at 2 a.m. In the next morning at 7, he goes to play tennis, and then he comes back at 11. We're still sleeping, and he comes. Bon, la jeunesse, l'énergie, il faut faire, hein? La jeunesse. Vous n'avez pas d'énergie, hein? But yeah, it's hard to think of just how energetic he still was even before he passed. But we're going to greatly miss him. It is not a secret, and we know that it's hard. You know, we used to always tell him that it's hard having his name, because everywhere you go, it's just too much pressure. You know, everyone was like, you're Habineza's son. I'm like, yes. Oh, are you as funny as your dad? I'm like, no pressure, please. It's like, your dad, I love your dad. Your dad does this and this. But then now I know for sure what he wanted is for us to always go forward. And I am 100% sure that is going to happen. And I am so grateful for his life. A really impactful life that has no borders in terms of the impact that it had. And I pray that in my late 50s or even 70s and 80s, that the only problem that I will have is I'm too good to people. And that's what the legacy of Papa Bonheur, that's his legacy. So, the manager, please, he has to speak. Yes.
Well, it's going to be hard to follow that because Jean-Michel stole 3 of my stories. But I like to say, like, so many people know so many different Joes. And the funny story is that we like to tell people that he's the son of Habineza and I'm the son of Joe. So when it comes to the politics and the education, that's him. When it comes to enjoyment, that's me. Yeah. So, because I mean, a lot of people didn't know that I was his son. A lot of people thought I was actually his bodyguard. Because for the past, I would say 4 or 5 years, actually since 2016, actually since I was about 20, I've been following him everywhere. And we go together, we go out together all the time. And then I remember it got to a point of where my friends would be like, yo, come hang out with us. It's like, nah, I'm cool, I'm hanging out with Dad. It's like, do you mind if he comes? And they're like, that's weird, but sure, let him come. So we go to the house and he has the craziest stories. He would talk about hanging out with Christine Jones, the presidents, and even hanging out with Motaz and everything. And then as soon as he leaves, my friends are like, but your dad is lying. That's not possible. And of course, the discussions were full of high fives, full of pinching. But as soon as you leave, you feel like he sucked the air out because there was so much energy that he brought to a room that when he would leave, you feel like, what else can we do? I mean, except go to sleep because he has taken everything. And when we were on our way here and I learned that he passed, of course I was very devastated because that light is something very rare, something that you don't get to witness a lot of times. But one thing that comforted me is the fact that I actually got to witness it. It's not, I mean, I'm beyond blessed to have called him my father. And he used to tell people like, yeah, these are not my sons, these are my brothers. It's to just begin to just tell any story that, and the impact that he has, not only me and my friends. I remember at some point I didn't want him to meet my friends, because when he would meet my friends, it's like, but Eric, you're not cool, man. Like, your dad is cool. I don't even know why I'm friends with you. He has stolen a few friends of mine. But, and just getting to know him, the only thing that I can say is, wow, what a life. And I'm sure everybody here knows Joe's. It's like 5%, 5%, 5%. I'm glad to know that I got to know about 80% of it. And that's what comforts me, is knowing that somebody has lived more than 4 lives put together. He has done so much more than anybody else I know. And his legacy, I'll leave the pressure to Jean-Michel. But it's very huge shoes to fill. And the only thing I can say is I hope that I can be not even half, which will be more than enough, of what he was and what he represented. And with that, Jean-Michel, the pressure is on you. I hope you perform. Thank you very well.